Hello and welcome to the Philippines. We're back at JRC Visa Consultancy and Immigration Services, and we've got some new information to go over, some new topics to go over, one of them being deportation, something everybody fears. So anyway, you've had some experience with this, JR. Can you tell us a little more about it? In this video, we're going to cover many topics having to do with a number of different types of visas. Blacklisting, how can you get blacklisted? Motion for reconsideration, what can you do if you've overstayed? Number of other issues and visas as well. JRC has offices in Manila, Cebu City, and Dumaguete. And we will cover a whole lot of topics here. I'll put links to his Facebook, to his website, and to his YouTube channel in the description of this video. So let's get back to the interview.
Hi Rod, how are you? It's been a while and good to see you around. So what would you do if you have a deportation charge thereafter here in the Philippines? By grounds of any violation in the immigration side, in the policy here, what will you do as a foreigner? Is that the end of the line? Of course it's not. So one of the things that I will highlight for your subscribers right now and your future subscribers is how important is you following the immigration rules here in the Philippines. There might be gray areas, however, take note, you can actually get away probably this time, but not all the time. So one of the things that I would like you to understand about deportation right now is how important you checking your derogatory record from time to time. For those who are actually on a permanent visa, I would highly suggest you check it at least twice a year. Why? You just don't know what's going on. Probably you bump into someone and that particular person file a complaint to you in the Bureau of Immigration. What happens next? You have a deportation charge at your doorstep. So what is a deportation charge? That is a charge being issued by the Bureau of Immigration before the deportation order. And the most crucial thing that you need to have is your address should be updated. Why? Once there will be a deportation charge from the Philippine Bureau of Immigration, they will actually send you and give you the chance to talk or to explain yourself what's going on. And it has a limited number of days only from the issuance of that deportation charge. Now, after the deportation charge, if you don't actually respond to that, then your right to be heard will now be deemed waived, because you have not responded that. And that is where the summary deportation order will be coming out because you have not responded, or shall we say you have not received it. Now the context of that is you should have a proper address here in the Philippines. It might be valid up to some point, however, you need to answer the deportation charge for you not to have the summary deportation order, because at the end of the day, that order should be served. And once you will be deported in the Philippines, then you will be in a blacklist order. So meaning, when you will be sent back to your country of origin, now when you wanted to go back to the Philippines, you need to file the lifting of that, and that will actually take some time, because you need to really explain yourself what happened, what are the charges against you, or if there are fees that you need to get involved or to fix, then you need to settle that, and then you will file the lifting of the blacklist order. Now, what are the things that you need to take a look at? What are the things that you need to take a look at as of this moment? Number one, when you have a disagreement to your spouse, if you're on a spousal visa, it does not mean that you have all the rights here in the Philippines. You're not a citizen yet. You are on a visa, which a privilege being granted by the Philippine government to our foreign or expats here wanted to live here in the Philippines. So that you should actually have that one. You should have a proper understanding on that, so that you would know how to maneuver things. What if you bump into someone or in a traffic jam, or probably in any arguments that you have, and they actually file a complaint? So that's the reason why for those who have the permanent visa, I would highly suggest check your derogatory record at least twice a year. Because we have encountered that one of our clients actually renewed the ACRI card, and it just so happened he has a pending case in court, and he was not able to renew the ACRI card because the legal court right now have notified the immigration regarding your pending case. Because once you know that you have the derogatory record, now you know how to address it. You can actually send an affidavit to the Bureau of Immigration explaining yourself what are the circumstances, what are the reasons, so that they will also know your side. So that is very important. And now also, apart from the blacklisting, I would highly encourage you to take a look at if there would be someone offering you like, hey, I know how to, if you're on a tourist visa and you want to be a permanent residency and they will offer you that as easy, that's initially a red flag. So like for example, if you've been offered, okay, hey, this is a permanent visa, spousal visa, and you're not married, that's a huge red flag for you. Don't dwell on it, please, because that will be a not so good situation for you, because eventually the Bureau of Immigration will have an audit for that. And if they will find out that you're not married and you're submitting a counterfeit document, that will also be the grounds for blacklisting. And once you are blacklisted, you will be deported in the country. So on that matter, I know that you would not be in a situation, and once you're in a foreign GC, you'll have another advices from your fellow expats, this and that. Yes, that advice might be applicable up to some extent, but remember, each individual and each situation is unique. It's never been similar or the same. Like when you file it in Manila and when you file it in Cebu, those are two different offices. Although they are the same in terms of the Bureau of Immigration, however, there might be instances that the way they do things might be different in a way. But at the end of the day, you get the end result of you having the approved visa. Recently also, we have noticed that there have been an increasing volume of visa denial. Why? The Bureau of Immigration right now is constantly upgrading their systems and their processes and procedures, and one of the common visa denial that we encountered right now is from the 9G working visa. The low paid up capital, less than 200,000 US. Like the video that I cited, that if you hire a foreigner, even if you're a corporation, you hire a foreigner and you pay, like for example, on your employment contract, you're paying that foreigner to do something for you, 30,000 a month, that's 360 a year, and your paid up capital is 62,500. Of course, even a fifth grader can answer that question. So it does not really compensate the expat to hire an expat, because your paid up capital is only 62,500. Number two, on the other visa application, please be mindful of your documents, because if there will be erroneous documents along the way, the Bureau of Immigration will actually evaluate that, and that might be a ground for the denial. But once you will be denied, then again, it's not the end of the line. You can still file a motion for reconsideration citing the reversal of that denial, because you have supported this and that, you've given the reason, you have given the supporting documents, and there would be a possibility that it can still be reversed, and then you will be approved with the visa that you're applying for. The visa that you're applying for. Alright? So also, I think one of your your subscribers may know, Rod, that they will be also like people who will be asking of foreign expats and probably like posting any information from the website. Please be careful on that, because that is a breach of the data privacy, especially posting it in the social media without the consent of the recipient, or without the consent of the owner. So please take note of that, because if that is a sensitive information that is been available in social media without the consent, that could be a grounds for you violating the data privacy law here in the Philippines. So those things that you need to know, and I think it's the information that we're giving to you right now is timely, because as we do our operations day on day, we have been advising our foreign friends really to take a look at those matters. And sometimes we respect you. If you want to do it in your own, so be it. At the end of the day, there will be people who value their time. And I bumped into someone who told me, okay, JR, I'm really happy to be with you. Why? It's not a matter of paying you guys on what are your service fees. However, it's the value of my time that I'm actually maximizing on it. Because rather not, you will always have the option to really do it by yourself. Especially if you'll be like, if you will be explorative enough to go to ride on a jeepney, to go on the motorbike, to move with angkas whatsoever is not available here. So yeah.
Okay. Now, if somebody does the motion for reconsideration, if they're told, oh, you need to leave, you've messed up for whatever reason, is that something you do in person? Do you show up and make your presentation to an immigration person in person, or do you hire like you or a lawyer or something to go in or you just fill out a form, the motion for reconsideration? What is that process?
Okay. The motion for reconsideration, Rod, is basically an appeal for you. Then you can actually process it on your own. You can also hire a representative, like an accredited visa agency like us, so that we can evaluate your documents before we actually filed it. We are also under the guidance of our in-house attorney, who is guiding us on all the legal terms that we're dealing with right now, especially for the motion for reconsideration that involves blacklisting. We really need to be very careful about that. We need to cite some grounds. What are the things that you will be lobbying for them to reconsider your situation or to reverse what has been ordered to you? Like a simple not adhering to the order. Like for example, we bump into this situation, have inquired to us that he has 2 violations right now, to 1 blacklist order because he does not adhere, or he does not comply with the order to leave because he was overstayed. So it was actually ordered that he will actually settle the fees and then order to leave the country. He didn't follow that. So that's 1 violation, and it's actually a grounds already of blacklisting. And then there's another violation. I forgot what's the violation, but it's another blacklisting order. So once you have that, it will actually pile up one after another, and it's not really a good situation for you. And for those people who have been overstayed and have been granted, please read your order. There will be 1 or 2 sentences, I think, two sentences before the end of the document. It states there that approximately, and I quote, that if you will not follow the order, it will be grounds for BLO. So BLO stands for blacklist order. So please don't be in a situation like that, because before you will be deported, you will be detained in the immigration detention facility while waiting for your deportation order to be processed for you to be sent back to your country of origin.
And you guys, like I've been saying for years, interviewing you, you guys know the immigration people. You know the system. You see what's happening. You understand what they accept. So I might write what I think is a really good explanation. But you Filipinos, a different culture. You know, it might come off totally wrong with the immigration officer.
Exactly.
So dealing with somebody like you and having you write it out, because it's a different culture. You think differently.
Yeah. And when you mentioned about that, I would like also to share this one. During the visa interview right now is already in place because there's no more COVID. Before, during the COVID time, they actually replaced that with a questionnaire, and they will actually submit for example, 13A. Now, during the interview, there are circumstances that the immigration officer will actually validate your marriage if it's really legit or not. I'm not saying that it's not legit. However, there might be a factor that the immigration officer might deny your application during the interview. On what grounds? If you cannot speak English and there would be like barrier on the language. We have encountered also that there will be an initial denial of for the age gap. If you have been divorced multiple times, that can be a grounds for your denial as well.
Oh,
So please make sure that during the interview you compose yourself, because sometimes human as we are, we might be provoked on that situation. I mean, you answering the immigration officer that, hey, I have this amount of pension and I think it's very helpful to the Philippine economy. I think that's not the situation that you would like to be in, because you are there to comply with the procedure of the visa application, which is the interview. The main concept there, if you're actually on a spousal visa, they would like to validate and establish that you are legally married. Probably they don't care about if you run that you have 4,000, 5,000 US dollars that you're on your pension and you can actually live well and the Philippine economy needs that. Up to some extent, yes. However, you answering that to a Filipino culture might be offensive, and I would totally go with
yeah,
you. Like,
being arrogant.
yeah,
Being certain level of
it's
arrogance.
really different here.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be like you might be the one making your own situation,
Yeah.
and it will not be a good preposition for you. I mean, just calm down and okay, what are the options thereafter? Because there will be options right now along the way, and sometimes we cannot expect that it will go smoothly. Like if they're gonna ask you your divorce papers, you're gonna ask you pictures of you getting married, and probably if you can bring proof, you have your ring with you, you have your child with you, bring him there. It's actually a valid reason that you're actually married. And for you answering on the side that, hey, I have this much money and which I can support the entire family, I really don't think that it would work.
One thing you see, you know, I hear a little bit about it on like Facebook groups and stuff. People say, I've had this problem, and a lot of people giving all disparate types of advice. Do this, you know. But you see what's going on. What kind of issues, like with the marriage visa and the SRV, the retirement visa? Those are the two main ones, right?
Yes.
What are the major issues with those in delaying it or not getting it?
I mean, for the issues might be minimal up to some extent. When we talk about the retirement visa, it's much flexible, because I always hype this. I think even before our your contents before on your channel, we have mentioned that the retirement visa is actually an independent visa. One hurdle that actually, or issues that I bump into, is there is a comment there that from an expat in an expat group that states that the retirement office does not return the visa deposit. Okay, I have done that several times, and the possibilities are there might be lacking documents that you need to comply. That's it. I even like have a very complicated situation before, and then they were able to like, excuse me, they were able to return the visa deposit because they don't have the intention really to keep it. It's your money. It's stipulated in there. It's a visa deposit. It's a bond. Once you cancel it, you cancel your visa for whatever reason, they're gonna return it back to you. Not outrightly, but it will take time. You know, it's the Philippines. That's why I would like to welcome you home. And there's no reason for you to be in a hurry here, because you come here for a different environment. So that's basically the whole point. Now, for the spousal visa, normal that most of the time there are a few concerns, like if they are actually separated, they have not reported it to the Bureau of Immigration. The problem is once you downgrade it, and when you have a supporting document that you have separated, especially you have been annulled or you have been divorced, your the basis of the computation of your penalties will be the time of your separation. Like for example, it's now 2024 and you have separated way back 2014. So you will be paying penalties for that, or even that would be a grounds for you to be deported or to have some immigration records, because that's a mere violation of the immigration policy. I mean, I have encountered, hey, JR is okay, I'm just here for already and have not renewed. Okay, take it at your own risk.
Mhm.
So if that's your perception, because this is the Philippines, yes, this is the Philippines. The Philippines is different from your country, but at the end of the day, there is a law that is governing to the immigration aspect.
Yeah, I know they're talking about, they're debating annulment versus divorce now
Correct.
in Congress.
Mhm.
And don't know where that's going to go, but yeah, even if they enact the law, it's not going to be easy. Like in the U.S., very easy to get divorced.
Correct.
Can be very costly. Depends upon if you and your wife are arguing about property,
Correct,
that type
correct.
of thing. But depends. Every state is a little different with their rules, that type of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, even if they pass it, it's not something that's going to be easy to do
Mhm.
here, but it's going to be an option. It's going to be, because I've met so many people, taxi drivers, others that say, well, yeah, I'm separated, I have a new live-in, a new family, I've got children with this new person, and the problem is those kids aren't legal, I guess. It's hard to get. There are other issues with that. So.
Yeah. I think that's also a good thing that we can actually bring a little light on that aspect. I'm not a lawyer for now, but I have asked our attorney to take a look at the research for that. Initially, it was approved on a certain point of the reading in the lower house, and it's still going also with the Senate, which is the upper house, and so it's still a long way to go before it will be passed into a law. Now, some of your subscribers who are in that situation, as what you've mentioned before, or other expats that might came across with this video, might be happy about the divorce, but come to think of it, if you are in a situation right now that your partner is still registered to be married with Filipino, and then they're physically separated right now, why not take a look at annulment instead of having the divorce? Because once there will be a new law in the Philippines, there will be a birth pain of applying that law. Probably 1 to 2 years, first 5 years, before it will be refined
Yeah,
to really the procedures.
Yeah.
Like, there will be instances right now that you need to take a look at it from this perspective, from other perspective. Even if it be passed, there will be probably like gray areas on that. How about take a look at it to do the annulment? Because at the end of the day, if you're really happy to be with each other, then I'm so happy also with you, and I think Rod will also feel the same. So I think the divorce, I know that many expats right now are actually waiting for that, but there's what we call LEDAC. It's also according to our research with our attorney right now, and those are the set of bills that will be the priorities of the Philippine government to be passed on before this Congress will end, because I think we'll have an election sometime next year. So that will actually reset the entire Congress. And once it will be reset, all the pending bills will go from scratch. So it will again go up to the ladder, readings and readings up until it will go to the finish line, and if it will not make it to the Congress, it will be reset again. So like to mention the Bureau of Immigration Modernization Act, it's still, I think, if I'm not mistaken, according to our conversation, that already lapsed 2 to 3 times. 3 Congresses already. And the context of that, some bloggers have actually hyped that. Also with the nomad visa, it's still on the hearing at the lower house, and it's still have the way to. It's a long way to go, especially for that to be passed. And there's still a lot of things that will be fine-tuned along the way, because the nomad visa, if the nomad visa can be applied here, or can be applied only in the consulate offices outside the Philippines, it's not yet certain. Because that House bill in the lower house and the upper house can be different versions. On if there will be like the bicameral conference already after the passed for both houses, then they will have also separate discussion for that to refine really that particular bill to become into a law. So yeah, we have talked about a lot today.
Well, one other. Let's talk. You've got 3 offices now. You've got this main office in Cebu City, across from Ayala Mall.
Correct.
You've got Manila, pretty close to immigration there.
Not so.
Not so.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got Dumaguete. Those
Correct.
are your 3 offices. But because you have the Manila office, you can expedite a lot of things because you send it you send stuff here
Mhm.
to your Manila office,
Mhm.
and you get them to expedite it through the main office,
Mhm.
right?
The main
that
thing
works.
why we're actually establishing our Manila office, because we do have clients in Luzon area, and we do wanted to really establish to them that we are a legit company. They can come to the office, check our credentials, and see it there, because I have encountered also different inquiries in Manila. Do you have an office in Manila? So on and so forth. And yeah, please feel free to come, because probably it will be difficult for them to come to Cebu, and if we have if we need to do some assistance in a main office in Manila, our team is there to really assist them. So if they do file their visa in Manila, and there will be someone who will assist them. So from the start that they'll step in the Bureau of Immigration office, there will be our team that will be assisting them
Okay.
from the start to finish.
And if they live out quite a ways and travel isn't quite as convenient,
Correct.
how much of this can you do through mailing paperwork back and forth? Is
Mhm.
that something that works for you? Is
Yeah, that works for us. In as much as possible, we're trying to really figure out ways to really make it more convenient to the client. Especially the Philippines is composed with several islands. That's what we're working out right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So that's also the challenge, and I think that is the thing that you would like also to really understand as an expat as well.
All right, and you do some other things as well. You do a little bit of real estate,
Mhm.
and you've got lawyers on staff,
Mhm.
so you can give advice that way.
Yes.
Um,
So right now we are giving much time on our visa and immigration consulting firm. So we do some processing along the way. Also, we do some consulting initially because we're still setting up the structure of our real estate. But for you, if you want to ask for the second opinions of if you're buying a property, or really considering to sell your property, we can actually help you with that. And if you need some insights, inputs, advices, we can actually help you on that matter. That we can guarantee, because doing the property showing might be taking some time, but we do have partners also. We have a group of brokers that I'm actually engaged with, and I make sure that they're well trusted enough, so that when I actually endorse you to them, you're well taken care of. And I do have some few inventories on hand that I can actually, you might be interested in.
all right. Well, very good. I think we covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I think we have we have actually laid out all the important matters, especially prior to this video. I don't know when was that. I think a few months back.
Couple months.
A couple of months back. And this is just like how we would like to share you that information. We've been doing this for so many years already, and our intention is really to help you and guide you here in the Philippines. Mind you, the Philippines is a totally different country. Why did I say that? I've been traveling also with other countries, not the US for now, but at the end of the day, even if in the Southeast Asia region, the Philippines has its unique way of to really offer you. You cannot expect to be forming part to be comparable to the US. No, you definitely, it's not an apple to apple comparison. Please don't compare, because you'll be frustrated. So yeah, so when you need those things for the visa and immigration consulting aspect, for the business consulting, and for the real estate, and for partly the legal stuff, and let us know, and we will be doing our best to really help you out on that matter. So really, thank you, Rod, and we look forward to for you to really have some information along the way. And please do subscribe and support our good friend here, Rod, on his channel, and so that you'll be given much more advice on how does it look like here in the Philippines. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and something I've said in several videos too. You know, I can do a little work on my car, I can do a little work on my house, but most of the time I wanna hire somebody to do it right
Correct.
the first time. You guys, especially in a foreign country, you guys, you know the system, you know the people, you know the language, and you know, I went for the first couple of years. I went and did all my own immigration stuff. I saw a couple people. What I was saying there before my battery died is that just a short amount of time I've spent in immigration offices extending my tourist visa many years ago. I've seen a couple people get denied, and they were upset. Why have you denied me? And they won't tell them why. Perhaps they had a charge against them. It was sent to the address that they originally lived at, that they put on their application, and they never received that complaint. Never responded to it. So they were given a deportation order and a blacklisting order. And anyway, when they showed up to renew their tourist visa, no luck. Generally speaking, the nice thing is that all the forms are in English. It's relatively easy to process your tourist visa extensions. That's the nice part. You can even do the first one online, I think, and a number of people are doing that. But there can be issues, and it's not the end of the line. Like JR was saying, contact them, and you can do a motion for reconsideration. You can give your side of the story, and perhaps you can solve the problem and not be kicked out of the country. Most people do not have that kind of problem, but I had a friend several years ago. He was applying from the tourist visa to an SRV, special retirement pension visa, and turned out that there was a minor incident over on Negros Island that he was involved in. He pushed somebody, and somebody charged him with minor injury, and it was listed, and he couldn't go forward until that charge was taken care of one way or another, dismissed or paid off, whatever. However, he ended up solving that issue. Anyway, the links to JRC, his website, his Facebook page, and his YouTube channel. He puts out regular YouTube information videos that you might find interesting as well. If you have any issues, contact him. And thanks for watching. See you next time.